Yeah, I think habitat protection was one of those, there's a question mark, because I don't really know what the intent of that question was.
Well, it also shows up again under wildlife vegetation. So
It does, yeah, it does.
maybe that's where it belongs.
Yeah.
What does homeland security have to do with natural resources?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. Somebody's gonna have to explain that one.
I'm not sure.
Otherwise it's not gonna get through your votes. Yeah, I don't know how that talk. And even if we ask the question, I don't personally know how the response would really benefit us in terms of.
One thing we need to look at, we're going to be making useful out of the answer to the question.
Correct. Does anybody shed any light on that and put that up there?
Not I.
None of us are gonna
I think we were talking about, and I don't know whether it fits here or not, I think we were talking about the, how do people feel about committing resources to Homeland Security if we have the LNG tankers going up and down the bay?
Oh, that could be, yeah.
As I understand it, we have to provide that security resource along the coast of Jamestown.
Right, so maybe we could combine it. Yeah.
So we'll be patrolling our yards with submachine guns.
Advocating mean high water, was that close to waterfront access?
I think it was, yeah, I think I went into a little bit deeper in here, and it says, do you feel that you can walk along the shore below mean high water without resistance from abutters?
Yeah, we were talking about docks and dock heights.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Well, I just recall that we were talking about, in some places, like, I think, for instance, Rock Island, you can sort of navigate the island, but
So that really was the issue,
yeah, we
yeah.
were talking about East Shore Road, for instance, and I think CRMC has just changed their requirements about the height of docks. I think they've changed that, all their specs and how high it can be so you can actually walk underneath them, but rolling docks, sometimes you can't.
Okay. So did it hit the point, do you think? What was their proposal here?
What's going to be the question?
I'm not even sure.
Well, I would take navigating out there, change it to access.
Yeah, I think it all goes back to the public access. Is there enough? Are there facilities? Can you park? Can you get to the shoreline?
I mean, that came, I think we put that down because there had been a little article in the newspaper or the journal or something about somebody complaining that they couldn't circumnavigate the island on the public way.
But I suppose even if people said, yeah, I know it's a big issue to me if you ask the question, I really suppose the only thing you could do is just provide public education. I don't really know what else, the issue. What we could actually do about the issue in terms of policy.
There's very little.
I mean, not being too far, but I guess if it was an important issue, if you had a strong response to the question that people are concerned about it, then in the comprehensive plan, we could put something in there about future policy should
Yes.
be that dogs or whatever, I was talking about dogs,
Should be constructed to the bottom.
Yeah,
that's a little.
yeah, but we don't have control. That's not our
Right.
responsibility.
And some years DEM has high docks and some years they have low docks.
But don't they have to get a building permit for it?
I would say yes, but it's really regulated by CRMC. Yeah. In terms of, in terms of the design of it, it's regulated by CRMC. Public access managed appropriately. We all set up these? Commercial ventures, what was the intent of that?
I think I brought it up as the loophole about how people feel about commercial ventures along the waterfront. You can go back 10 years and
Oh, was that-
the scream about ferry access and waterfront businesses, and there was a huge outcry that
We had developed an ordinance that related to commercial businesses operating out of marinas. So that issue?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
If we're talking about economic development, we should be, this is maybe 10 years now. It was everything. It was agriculture, it was retail sales, it was restaurants, it was anything that you could possibly do in the market.
Yeah, even, you know, boats being docked at slips that were, you know, catering to boats out in other words, they were providing commercial service. So, you know, that was kind of what the,
Running coffee and donuts out in the
Right.
field, and it was not about that.
yeah.
There's outcry about renting kayaks on the waterfront, that was, outcry.
Does anybody want to just talk about habitat protection under, whatever the next category is?
Wildlife vegetation.
Yeah.
I think you have two issues, you know, coastal resources and something with the wildlife.
It's true.
You know, you get the eelgrass, you know, issues and things like that on the coastal resources. I don't know what to do with that, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if animals or dogs. I mean, it is separate, there's wildlife, but
I'm sort of wondering if Chris felt that that was being adequately handled by CRMC.
yeah.
Well, I mean, that also relates to the pollution issue, you know, the runoff, worry about stormwater runoff, and, you know, we've got shellfish areas which are now deep polluted, you know, in Sheffield Cove, and
Talk about water quality. I think. What do we do?
Yeah, there's one.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
So should they be defined in any way? 9 and 7?
Well, 7 is habitat protection, and 9 is just water quality.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're related, but those are two simple questions.
the habitat protection that also apply to expansion of mooring fields on both sides of the bay. West Ferry, you know, expanding it more towards the creek and down, heading south towards the protected areas towards Fort Getty. About that, and then on the other side, you know, one time we talked about expanding mooring fields to Potter's Cove. Oh, some access there, but, you know, that's been talked about.
The east-west area one on master plans, was that, should we have master plans?
I'm not sure. I mean, some of these I just wrote down what I thought the point was, because they really, yeah.
The harbor plan is really, they have a master plan. The harbor management plan.
Well, I think it was more, in our last comprehensive plan, we talked about developing master plans in East and West Ferry. So since we haven't done it yet, you know, do we still feel that that is necessary? I guess that was that's how I interpreted it, because I don't think I really know
Parking
what.
facilities access.
Exactly, yeah.
That's what I was going to ask you about, because you've got 2 parking, and that had everything listed except the East and West Ferry, and it seems to me that's still a pretty sensitive subject, the parking for at least the West Ferry, probably the East Ferry as well. And I don't
East and
know.
West Ferry, just because they weren't listed, they're still major access points.
Yeah,
So
so that's a question I'd, still like to have us develop in there.
which one?
The parking, whether it's part of the master plan that includes looking at the parking, or is it, or just parking for East and West Ferry as part of number 2?
All right, does what it say there and here capture what the point that you think you need to make?
Yeah, I guess number 2 would do it.
All right.
Sorry, before we leave this, isn't habitat protection and stormwater runoff, et cetera, within the coastal resource zone really governed by the